What's going on, guys? I want to give a shout out to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Very good video. Apparently, these Pactards, they can't seem. And by the way, I know there's a lot of dudes out there right now like, oh, YTBC, where are the YTBC? And let me tell you something, right? Back when I'm talking like 2009, 2008, right? The term Pactard, right? Like a little before that, the term Pactard started in the old YTBC, right? So that's where it started. That's where I first saw the term. Okay, and it was by a guy called Filthy Mouth, but nonetheless, and then the term really caught on. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of a lesson there. But with that said, now I have a history with Pactards, man. Let me tell you something right now. All right. They didn't like me very much. Okay. Now you wouldn't believe this, but when it comes to Manny Pacquiao fans, okay, it's not, well, that's a little unfair. Not all Pacquiao fans, but when it comes, I'm talking specifically about Pactards, right? First of all, they've the only strikes I could think of, right, where I had a strike by YouTube. I lost one of my channels because of these Pactards. Okay, so I have a history with them, right? But I will say this: they don't have the power they used to have. Okay, they just don't. And there was a time here on YouTube where being blindly pro Pacquiao was like a thing, okay? Like being pro Pacquiao at one point on YouTube would, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, it would get you 1,000 subscribers in a matter of weeks, right? And a lot of guys took advantage of that fact, right? A lot of people were very, and look, in fairness, Pacquiao at one point was considered the best pound for pound fighter in the world, and that's fair. But keep in mind, right? It's not like DStyleBoxing was a big critic of Manny Pacquiao, right? Like you wouldn't even believe this, but one of the reasons I came on YouTube, right? Like the first video I ever did was a post-fight of Pacquiao versus Haddon, right? That's the first video I ever made. And I was excited as a boxing fan of the prospect of a Mayweather versus Pacquiao fight. And I wanted to see it, right? Like I came on here just like a regular dude. Like, hey, I want to see this fight, right? This was like, look how long ago that was. It's crazy to think we didn't get the fight till 2015. Like that's insane, right? If I would have known that, I probably wouldn't even have joined YouTube. As crazy as that sounds, right? Like I had figured out how to use a camera, and then there was a different time on YouTube, right? And it was a time where you could directly respond to people, and when you watch their videos, you could approve it. You could watch your video could be in the bottom, and people could kind of follow the progression of that discussion. But I came on here and I did a Manny Pacquiao versus Haddon recap, okay, and then I did a Mayweather Marquez prediction. And those were my first two videos. I'll never forget that, right? And then I remember doing responses to like Ashy Knuckles, and I'm trying to remember, man. There's just a lot of dudes back in the day, but Budasai, they're out there, man. And then a month in or so, Joe Habib and I started doing like collabs together. But let me tell you why I'm telling you all this. I did not come on YouTube in any way, shape, or form to engage in this Pacquiao versus Mayweather thing, other than I was just a boxing fan that was excited and I wanted to see that. But the funny part is, Pactards never had an issue with me until I said I believe Mayweather would win that fight. When I said that, I mean, you would have thought I said some real vile things about Manny Pacquiao, right? I mean, you would have thought like I said something very vile about Manny, right? And then to top it off, these guys would say ridiculous things. Because at the time it was a very popular thing. Like, it's hard to believe now, right? Because no one is really riding hard for Manny right now. Have you guys noticed that even after this controversial decision, a lot of these channels that at one point would have been like, oh, it was robbed and this, that, and like, it's all of a sudden they're saying the opposite. Okay, they're letting the train move on. And that's just an observation I had. That's a clear observation, right? But I'm trying to explain this. Like, there was a time, and I want to put it in, because I want to. A lot of people that are new to YouTube may say, "Oh, come on, no." Like, yeah, there was a time where if I did a video, right, in context saying, "Oh, come on, he's not the best of all time," you know, like they were comparing him to Henry Armstrong. That was a big thing. I mean, and I came on as a boxing fan. Nothing, just respectfully coming on here and saying, you know, no, I don't think Manny has accomplished what Henry Armstrong accomplished, right? And what you would have thought, again, that I said the most vile things about Manny. I mean, I was a fucking Mexican scumbag, and I just don't like Manny because he beat Mexican fighters. My inbox at the time, all right, it was insane. Some dudes threatened to kill me, right? Now, I didn't take it serious, but just someone typing, "I'm going to fucking kill you," right? Because I don't think Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of all time. That is insane. That is as irrational as you can get. Look, a lot of like Mayweather fans, like all these flomos, I never had one threaten to kill me. It never happened, right? Ever. They may have called me names. They may have said, like, I have pretty thick skin, man. I don't care. Like, oh, we called you an idiot, or like I don't give a fuck about that petty shit, right? But I'm talking about like threatening your life. And it's not like it was like hidden and covert. No. This was like out. I mean, I would watch some dude, like channels that were not controversial. They would not say anything controversial. As in, they didn't start drama and they didn't talk shit, right? And they were being called monkey, and I mean, it was fucking insane. And they would attack Ashy Knuckles. Go back and watch Ashy Knuckles' videos. And then it's insane, because looking back, I was way too kind. Like, I would try my very best to be like, look, man, I like Manny Pacquiao, and I would always have to disclose this to them, because it was like you had to treat them with white gloves because they were so fucking sensitive. I heard people said stupid shit like, the only reason you don't think Manny Pacquiao is the greatest of all time is because you're a racist and you hate Filipinos. The only reason, you don't think that Manny Pacquiao is better than Henry Armstrong, is because you just have a deep hatred for Filipinos. Like, I don't even know where this shit came from. Like, this shit's insane. But it was all projection. Because while they were playing the victim, while they were saying that they were the victim of all these things, all right, they were the ones being some of the biggest racists I've ever seen here on YouTube, right? And I kind of hate to say that, but it's the truth. And it's anecdotal. It's what I experienced, and it's what I saw, all right? And I think, does it, am I going to say all of Manny Pacquiao's fans are like, of course not, okay? But some of these fans were very vile, man, right? Very vile. I used to, okay, try to submit like articles from no website, okay, to certain places, because you would get a lot of hits, especially like Packland.com and stuff like that. Man, I would look at those forums. Holy shit, man. I mean, holy shit. And this wasn't like hidden. Like, this wasn't like, it's, oh, I'm going to, be on the down low. But anyway, a lot of people ignored all that for hits, man. Because all you have to do, honestly, all you have to do is, no, Manny's the best of all time. Manny, people just don't like, they don't, it's just Americans. That's where the whole thing started, the whole American thing. Americans don't want to admit that a foreigner is the best ever and this, that, and the third. And, that's where that shit started. And that shit's insane, man. Like, I to this day, the Pactard wave is something, it was a phenomenon. It's not even that bad now. It's not. Okay? They've lost a lot of their confidence, but I mean, holy shit. I remember when Manny Pacquiao wanted to win his 6th world title against Miguel Cotto, and I remember the whole catchweight talk, all right? They ended up agreeing to 145, but people forget that he wanted something lower than that. They negotiated that. And I remember coming on here just saying, look, if Manny thinks he's too small for 147, then he should fight, at 140 then. I mean, if he's too small for 147, I've always been against catchweight fights or title fights. My rule doesn't change. If it's a fighter I like, I don't like, it doesn't change, right? But holy shit. I mean, they would flag my videos, and back, today it's a little harder. Back in the day, flagging your shit was easy, right? It wasn't that hard, and that's when my first channel went down, okay? That's when my first channel got shut down. Because I said I was against a catchweight fight. They flagged my fucking channel. I started another one called, for those who remember, the 12th and final round, but I was doing that with, if those remember, JR, and I was doing that with Joe Habib. And it got to the point where I just didn't give a fuck anymore, man. I started talking shit, and some of the most retarded shit happened, okay, during that period. I mean, this was crazy. But now, when they really fell from grace, right? Like, the Pactards started to take L's. It started with, like, first, it was the third Marcus fight, okay? Because at the time, I didn't like the fact that Marquez was going to move up in weight, and I didn't want to see that fight. All straight, like, I'm just transparency here, okay? So I don't want to. I could pretend like I was for the fight, but I wasn't. But it wasn't for the reason these guys thought. Like, they thought, well, the reason you don't want to see Marquez versus Pacquiao is because you're scared that he's going to beat Marquez better than Mayweather did. Some dumb, like, everything was always about Mayweather, right? Even though I had, it's stupid, but anyway, I did videos criticizing Mayweather, and Mayweather fans didn't like me. It was like the strangest thing, like being called a Flomo, and and then being called a Pactard at the same time. You know, it was just it was weird. It was a weird period. Like how could he be both? You know, but it just that's how extreme the fan bases were. But the Pactards at a whole nother stratosphere, right? Man, had the mighty fall, right? They got no power anymore, right? I mean, they're still vocal, right? They're still out here throwing tantrums, some of them, but have you noticed like there's no like wave of channels that are really riding with them anymore. Like they're not really there. The boxing media isn't really doing it. I mean, nobody's really riding with the guy anymore. After Marcus knocked him out, I mean, a lot of them. Let me tell you something, okay? When Marcus knocked out Manny Pacquiao, which, by the way, when that happened, I took out my phone, I filmed it, like when he was on the ground, and I was cheering, man, okay? I never been so happy to see a knockout in my life, okay? Never. That was when Marcus knocked out Manny Pacquiao. All right, it was the crickets was the best part. Like when I came on here, and I did a video about Marcus knocking out Pacquiao. It was just beautiful. All of a sudden, the Pactards were for drug testing. That was the best part, right? Because for the longest time, they're like, oh, drug testing. Who the fuck does that? Only pussies ask for drug testing. Right. And then Marquez knocked his ass out. All of a sudden, they were for drug testing, right? All of a sudden, like, they were very concerned about somebody taking, performance-enhancing drugs. Because I think most people agree that, there's a good chance Marquez did. But I mean, you're the ones that said it wasn't necessary, right? That the commission's test is good enough. But not just that. When Marquez knocked out Manny, honestly, Marquez caused the most accounts deleted on YouTube in history. Okay, the amount of dudes that disappeared from my comment section. It was like a relief, all right? Like, I'll always cherish that moment. That moment was beautiful because it was like a clear, like at best they were saying he was lucky. Like that's all they had. Like it was the funniest shit ever. The Pactard channels, that was the beginning of the end, right? In fact, plenty of them disappeared. They weren't getting views anymore. They just, like the channels that were exclusively Pactard channels, they had to find something else. Okay, that's when a lot of those, they started to really cling on to like Eastern Europeans and the GGGs and stuff like that, which they could follow what they want, but that's what they kind of went to. They abandoned the exclusive Pactard chip, right? Now, if you come on YouTube and you say Manny's not the best of all time, it's nobody says anything. But if you said that back in 2009, you would get attacked, right? If you say it, oh no, he's not better than Henry Armstrong. If you say that today, it's not controversial today. 7 years ago, all right, that statement could get your fucking channel flagged, right? Now, what these guys have done, they have burned so many bridges with everybody, right? They burned bridges with the Mexican fight fans. They burned bridges with the black fight fans. Now they're burning bridges with the white fight fans. They're done. They're done, right? I mean, the bridges that they burned, and their fighter just isn't considered the best anymore. And, nobody's going to, like, no one with a straight face can do it anymore. Okay, that's why they're done. They're gone. It drained them. Because coming on here and trying to appeal to these roaches, drained them, right? You guys have burned every fucking bridge imaginable. Like everyone has caught onto your shit. You know, now for me, I'm a person of principle, man. Like it was not a popular thing to, and I'm not even calling it anti-Pacquiao. Forget that. Just not being pro Pacquiao 7 years ago, 6 years ago, it wasn't a popular thing to do. Okay, every video you did was going to get thumbs down. Okay, you were at risk of having your channel flagged, and it was insane, right? And that's just the reality. Like you would debate, like this would always happen. Okay, like if someone would do like a response video to your video, right? And they would come back and in waves and be like, "Oh yeah, he beat you. He made better points than you did." Like I'm talking about like these dudes that I'm just wondering like, who the fuck are you guys? It was insane. It was an insane period, right? Like they honestly the urge for channels to get a lot of subscribers and views and positive responses and a lot of thumbs up, right? It's a lot of dudes couldn't help themselves. They had to go for it, right? And by the way, and for those that say, look, let me tell you something, man, right? For a lot of you dudes out there that don't understand, you know, Precise Percenter, right? Mentix Bubble Bass. He was a subscriber of mine and just another dude commenting on my videos for about 3 years before he started doing videos, right? He always agreed with my points, always. And then all of a sudden, he turned into a whole other person when he started doing videos, okay? He was just playing you guys. Like, what? Honestly, that's what he was doing. He didn't believe the dumb shit he was saying. He thought he's going to come back, I guarantee you. He didn't believe what he was saying. But I'm telling you right now, right? These guys, they lost it all, man. And now, look at what they're doing to Jeff Horn, right? They're attacking Jeff Horn's wife, dude. I mean, that is so vile, honestly. I wouldn't attack the wife of my worst enemy, right? Like I verbally attack my enemy. I wouldn't attack his wife. Only a disgusting person does that. And you guys are so vile, right? Like you guys are vile. That's what you are. And if you want to report my video and do what you want, dude, like this isn't 2009. I'll send a video. This shit will come back up. So like try it. Right? So it doesn't matter to me what you try and what you attempt. It just doesn't matter. Just because you're a bunch of sore losers, right? Yeah, you complain all you want. Oh, look at his face. Look, oh, but look, but this and that. Like you guys can say whatever you want, right? You know what? You can never change. You can never change the fact that Mark has knocked his ass out. You can never change that. Nothing will ever. You can't go back in time and tell Manny not to fight him a fourth time. It's not going to happen, right? Okay, Marquez, when he knocked out Pacquiao, that was it for him, man. He became gun shy. Look at the dude. He's scared to throw punches now. He was throwing 100 punches a fight, and then Marquez knocked him out. Look at what he did to him. Marquez won the war, right? That's it. No, but nothing. Right? No, but nothing. And now, where are your channels at? Where are these guys? A lot of them they're still on YouTube. They're pretending like they were never catering to the Pactards. It's kind of funny, but whatever, right? They turn their backs on you. They're shutting down their channels. They haven't done videos in 3-4 years. Nobody's catering to you anymore. Like, you have no more influence. You've lost everything. And your fighter's done. Manny's done, right? He's done. He should retire. Because if he doesn't retire, he's going to take more L's. I'm telling you that right now, right? Somebody else is going to knock his ass out, okay, if he doesn't retire. So he better retire. You know, and I kind of feel bad because, look, Manny isn't like these people, right? At least not in the open, right? But he's not like these people, okay? He doesn't. It's kind of sad that people just want to see Manny fail because of his fans, but I'm telling you, at least from my perspective, I don't feel sorry, right, for a lot of these Pactards. I just don't. Like, I have no sympathy for them, right? And I don't have sympathy for Pacquiao. Like, oh, he got knocked out. Big deal, right? The dude made millions of dollars. If he squandered it all, that's his problem, not mine. Okay? I mean, you guys are always saying that, oh, Manny is such a good person, and that's why he's going to win. Like, just... Manny isn't a liar. He doesn't have to take drug tests. You know, like, how many people were making that argument? Like, it's that Manny is religious and he's a Christian. He doesn't have to take a blood test because sinners, liars go to hell. So he's not going to lie. Like, what? This was like, these were actual arguments being made. All right. And I was always like, wait, what? The fuck are you talking about? Right? I mean, these dudes were catering hard, man. Like, catering hard, right? I could call some of them out right now. I mean, I still remember it's something they're coming to me, right? Like, I'll never forget this guy called Strikehards. I mean, he fucking, that dude, let me tell you something about that guy, right? That guy was catering hard to the Pactards when it came to the blood test issue. Hard, okay? I mean, he was catering hard. Now, I didn't always disagree with him, but I remember he did this stupid video where supposedly he owned me, but he was lying about what I said. Like, you know, but whatever. It was just stupid. But anyway, he was comparing, like, asking a fighter to do a, you know, blood test to, you know, being innocent before, like, being proven guilty or something like that. Like in court. Like, you know, just stupid shit. Some of the, like, I remember, like, these dudes that all they did was talk about Pacquiao. Like, this old dude, man, what the fuck is that guy's name? He always had, like, this cartoonish background of, like, this, like, building or whatever. Like, he was always talking about Manny this, Manny that, and he's a good person, and just cater, obviously catering. Like, it was, oh, here's the word, pandering. Like, it's the pandering that some of these channels did for Pactards. It's unbelievable, okay? I mean, no fucking backbone, because it was an easy thing to do at the time, right? That's what it was. It was an easy thing to do at the time. It was easy to do that. It was easy to pander to Pactards, okay? Now no one is pandering to them. And soon Pacquiao's going to retire, and hopefully they go back to the hole where they fucking came from, right? I don't want to hear from them anymore. But how could he say that, DStyle? Like, because they're pieces of shit. That's why. That's what they are. They're pieces of shit. Let me tell you something you're always going to get with this channel, okay? DStyleBoxing is never going to pander to anybody, right? Ever. I'm not going to pander to anyone. I don't care if it's a popular thing to do at the time or not, or like a lot of channels, like it's insane because, like, you guys think like nobody notices, but people notice when you're starting to pander, okay? People notice that. Other channels notice that, okay? Because we know how talking to an audience works like. Like, we know what that is. You know, have some fucking integrity, right? I don't preach about having integrity. Just have it. Because in the long run, you're not going to be like some of these channels shutting shit down and disappearing because they know the shit they've been doing, okay, is some fraudulent shit. And nobody's talking about being right or being wrong. I'm specifically talking about pandering, and you know exactly what I mean by pandering, okay? Like, and you know what's sad is that a lot of these dudes that pretended to like Pacquiao, right? A lot of these channels weren't really Manny Pacquiao fans. Okay, they were fans of the attention they were getting, the views they were getting, the subscribers they were getting. That's what they were fans of. They didn't give a shit about the fighter, right? When Pacquiao got knocked out, they fucking disappeared, right? These dudes disappeared. What the fuck? Are you shitting me? They were never fans of this guy, man. They never liked Pacquiao. Me, I'm a fan of Manny Pacquiao, all right? I've been watching the dude, okay, since he beat the shit out of Barrera, right? I've been a fan of Pacquiao since then. And everybody knows I don't like Barrera, right? That's a whole nother story. That was like I love that night, okay? The dude was like a buzzsaw, man. He was unbelievable to watch. I was a fan of Pacquiao. Now, somebody say, well, no, you don't understand. The Pactards pissed me off so bad that, yeah, I celebrated when Marquez knocked his ass out, okay? Of course I did. I like Marquez too. But the channels that were actually here talking boxing, that were all really fans of Pacquiao, those were the real Pacquiao fans. But because we wouldn't pander and say stupid shit like he's the best fighter of all time, so we're called racist and haters, and you're just not being fair to Pacquiao, and other idiots decided to pander, right? But we were the real fans of Pacquiao, right? So fuck off with that shit. That's insane, man. And it's so different, man. This always happens, okay? I'm talking about Lomachenko in the fucking Olympics. Nobody's on YouTube talking about the Olympics, which is fine, right? I'm talking about his upcoming pro debut. And then all of a sudden, these dudes just start pandering to Lomachenko. They don't like Lomachenko. They like the idea of what Lomachenko may mean. That's what they like. That's what it is. One of the first channels on here that I saw talking about Gennady Golovkin was 78 Sports TV, right? But because he won't pander, okay, to a lot of these Gennady Golovkin fans and call him the greatest middleweight of all time, right? Everybody wants to go and flock over to dudes that are pandering to you, all right, talking about how he's the greatest ever and some bullshit like that, right? So fuck off with this shit, okay? Honestly. This is insane to me. You know, it always happens. But at this point, pandering to Pacquiao, it's no longer a thing. You just look stupid if you pander to Pacquiao. Like you're gonna look real stupid coming on here. Oh yeah, Pacquiao's the best of all time. Like, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I mean, some dudes were, look, the Pacquiao thing got milked. I mean, they milked that shit till the cows came home, okay? Mr. Fantastic, they were reaching, okay? Until they just couldn't anymore, right? They can't do it no more. It's done. It's a washed up product. Nobody wants it anymore. They're done with that, right? That shit's gone, man. That shit's gone. But there you go. This is DStyleBoxing. I don't know if I'm going to do another video or not. I might. But I just want to give my thoughts on that and shout outs again to Boxing Beats and Rhymes. This is DStyleBoxing signing out.